Hi, this is Joy with Obsessed with Scrapbooking, and today we're making this fun, super glittery card using the Close to My Heart Art Philosophy Cricut cartridge. So coming up, here are the cuts. Now you're going to notice that for the layer of that ornament, it is cut at 2.2, and you're going to be like, I can't cut things at 2.2, but you can. It's under the settings of the Cricut machine. If you look under the settings, you can go to 0.1. Now, a word about this folder. It's by Anna Griffin. It's called Snow Flurry, and it combines my two favorite folders into one. It's like Divine Swirls plus Swiss Dots all in one folder. I love it. All right, my card is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So I've gone ahead and created a 9.5 by 4 3/4 size card and then folded it in half. And now here are all my glittery layers. I had to do multi-cut for those to get them to cut properly. So just FYI, if you've got some thicker glitter paper, you're going to need that. Here I'm using the Crafter's Companion CNI temporary spray adhesive. And I'd like to use the temporary, although it's a little more permanent than not, but I like to use it because it gives me a chance to put these elements down that are kind of detailed or whatever that would be hard to glue, but still gives me a chance to stick them and maybe lift them up, and then once you press it in pretty hard, it's pretty much going to stay. It's also real convenient to use with the glitter backgrounds. Now, I left this in the video because now everything looks uniform, and yet it doesn't all quite want to fit properly. So sometimes with these frames, if you didn't take note of exactly how you remove them from the mat, because they'll cut properly on the mat. When you load them in Cricut Craft Room and on the mat or whatever, those layers will cut fine. It's just when I take them off, I have a habit of they turn and swivel and this, that, and the other. So you may have to go, turn it a little bit to make sure it will line up perfectly one of the directions, but it is not uniform. So just FYI with that storyline. Okay, that inner piece, gosh, I really do wonder what size that inner piece was. Let's take a little look-see here. See if I've got one on my desk, I can tell you. I do, yay! That inner piece is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that is the piece we embossed with that awesome Anna Griffin folder, again called Snow Flurry. And I just went ahead and I stuck that down with my Scotch ATG. Here I'm using glue dots. There's a brand called Glue Dots, then there's a brand called Zot. I really don't see a difference between both of them. There may be one, but I use them interchangeably. And I'm using that to stick down the frame. Mostly that's for convenience sake. So I'm not sure you really need to, although the frame is a little bit thick because this is fairly thicker paper. I got the glitter paper at Michael's. They were having a special. It was like $1 a sheet, and this is super thick, high quality glitter paper, so it's pretty awesome for a 12 by 12 sheet. Now, moving on, I am using the October stamp of the month, which is called Scandinavian. Now I gotta look for that. It's one of those times. Oh, it's here. It's here, I swear. Don't. Okay, Scandinavian Wishes. That's what it's called. Man, this is going to be an interesting video. Anyway, using Scandinavian Wishes, and I used some Lagoon Close to My Heart ink to stamp out that warm winter wishes. And what I'm doing is I'm using a little scrap piece that I had, as you can see that obviously the ornament cut out with, and I decided to just back the warm winter wishes with that. And then here I'm like, oops, I didn't cut that quite right. So the secret way around that is to get some painter's tape. When you got to make a teeny tiny little cut on your trimmer, get some painter's tape to hold it down. And that is a handy little way to make sure it stays. I ended up doing this a few times, you guys. And then you'll see I use the scissors. So keeping it real here, folks, just keeping it real. All right. See, and then I'm like, oh, it's still a little bit too wide. I'm going to use the scissors. I resorted to scissors anyway. Probably should have started with scissors, but there you go. And I'm just going to mount this using some pop dots. And this card is almost done. It is a super fast card. It would be a super fast card to replicate. Now, granted, the glitter paper could make it a little costly, but you could go with no glitter paper. You could go with other designs or whatever you needed. Again, all the elements are from the Close to My Heart Art Philosophy cartridge, which is information and a picture that's coming up on where you can get that in just a minute. And finally, I just cut a little strip here to go on the inside of the card. It's not the deepest detail, but it's something, just a little eye catcher, something to put in there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate you all watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.